Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and I hope you've got popcorn! Today we're taking a look at quite the corny questline. We'll be getting an earful, I'm sure, but hey, all we can do is stick some forks into the side and take a bite. I've heard amazing things about this questline, but I guess we'll find out if there's a kernel of truth or not shortly. I guess I should stop popping these puns and introduce you to this curious corn. What in the world is this thing? And why is it here in Tuliyollal? Oh boy. Yeah, let's find out what's going on with this thing, because I have no idea what a sentient piece of corn is doing here. Wrestle. The rustling of this corn sounds not unlike a dejected sigh, and you could swear it is looking out at the ocean. Oh, woe is me. What's the matter? It jumped out of its husk! You can see me? Oh, blessed be! For countless ages have I watched over these lands. When man first tilled her soil, I was there. When they partook of her bounty, I was there. A silent guardian of the harvest, my presence unmistakable. Yet the passage of time would bring change to the people. They began to forget the old ways, forget me. I traveled the lands hither and yon, yet no matter where I went, I remained unseen and unheard. I feared before long I might shuck this nigh immortal cob. Yet here at the last, I have found a kindly soul, able and willing to lend me an ear. But will he lend me a hand as well, I wonder? I wish to help the people of Tyrol, fill their hearts and bellies both, lest their hunger invite terrible misfortune. All that are born into this world are deserving of happiness. Would you not agree? So let them eat, I say. Eat corn and be merry. Alas, I cannot reach them in my diminished state, but you can, and so I shall bequeath unto you the most delectable corn dishes, which are to then be distributed to the masses. What say you? Sounds fun. Such selflessness, such compassion. How long has it been since last I met a soul so grossly incandescent? I am but a humble stalk, basking in the warmth of your generous heart. Well, my friend, let us be off. The curious corn spirit has elected to be referred to as the corn servant. Speak with them again when you are ready to spread corn and happiness to the masses. Alright, we're ready. Let's speak to them. Goodness, how long has it been since last man has partaken my corn? I can hardly wait. The hungry bellies of Tyrol cry out for satiation. Let us sally forth. The corn servant is now following you. Keep them at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. Alright, this is the typical stuff. Alright. So we have a piece of corn following us here. Let us talk to the hungry youth over here. What am I to do now? I'm like to starve at this rate. His belly. It speaks to me. I bid you offer him this grilled corn, seared to perfection with the hope that yet burns in my corny bosom. Is that grilled corn? For me? That's awful kind of you. I'm new to Tuliyollal, and it's been pretty hard. Harder since I lost my job. I've been so hungry lately, I can barely think straight. But the smell of this corn with its smoky, sweet aroma has brightened my day. I can hardly wait to eat it. Feels like maybe my luck is starting to turn around. Thank you, sir. I won't forget this. Alright, let us make our way to the west. And up these steps, we have another person. Perhaps I'll simply skip dinner today. A belly and heart both in dire need of nourishment. Here, take of my cob. Let its earthy scent and savory flavors offer her comfort. Grilled corn? My husband loved grilled corn. Life simply isn't the same without him. One moment I think I'm fine, then suddenly I find myself brought to tears. Even eating has been a struggle, but I know he wouldn't want me to mourn him. Thank you for this. I'll try to do better, for his sake and mine. And once again to the west. I'm so hungry, but I have no money. May the gods forgive me for what I'm about to do. Do you hear that, friend? His belly weeps from hunger. Pray offer him this corn. Let its smoky sweetness give him comfort, and deliver him from foul temptation. Is this grilled corn for me? Truly? My stomach has been in knots for days. Thank you. It shames me to admit it, but I tried my hand at gambling and lost everything. I was so desperate for food, I was tempted to do terrible, terrible things. This corn has filled my aching stomach and helped to clear my head. Oh, what a fool I've been. It's time to start over and get my life together. The rumbling of bellies in need has ceased. Come, let us find a quiet place to speak. Over here? Still with the corn following us. Full glad am I to have helped the people of Tuliyollal. Indeed, my kernels swelled with joy at the sight of their happy and content faces. And you, friend, your kindness cannot go unrewarded. Meet me at the gate over yonder, and I will see you duly compensated for your trouble. Okay, so far in this game, we know that there are sentient animals that, if they live for 100 years, they basically become, very cognizant and able to talk to people and such. I'm kind of wondering if the same thing happened here, except I've never heard of a stalk of cob of corn living for 100 years before. I guess we'll find out maybe we'll find out if it's the same thing or not here. There you are. I hope our little excursion was as fulfilling for you as it was for me. It is a terrible thing to be hungry. Unattended bellies are quick to fill themselves with pain and anguish, feelings that will lead the heart astray. Thanks to you, my corn has sated the hunger that would otherwise invite misery to this place. From the bottom of my cob, I thank you. Pray, take of my corn. May these kernels keep your belly full and spirits lifted. Now, I really must be going. While the people of Tuliyollal may be content, there are other hungry souls out there in need of nourishment. Until we meet again. And we got 2 Tiroli corn from that. Okay, so that's just the start of this whole thing. There's actually several more quests associated with this here. Let's move on to the next one, which we're gonna find in Urkapacha. Let's see, this is gonna be probably in, where the Pelu Pelu are. And speaking of the Pelu Pelu, we'll be getting to them also later in today's episode as well. Alright, so where is this corn then? There they are! Well, if it isn't my dear friend from Tuliyollal, I do hope your days, as well as your stomach, have been full of merriment and cheers since we last met. Glad to hear it. I was just passing through when a faint rumbling caught my attention, the unmistakable sound of a belly in need. How fortuitous that fate would also guide you here. Might I impose on you to help me once more? If you would lend an ear to the poor boy's troubles, I can determine how best to lend an ear of my own. Now, let's see what we've got here. If you've come for business, I'm afraid I'm much too tired right now. It's strange, really. No matter how much I sleep, or try to sleep, I suppose, it never seems to be enough. And despite the weird grumbling of my stomach, I have no appetite. I recognize a lover of corn when I see one. The problem, I believe, is that he eats only corn. He is exhibiting clear signs of malnourishment for lack of a well-balanced diet. Though my dominion is only over that which is corn and kerneled, there may yet be a way we can help him. Prepared with lime water, my corn can be enriched with additional nutrients. Behold, a rich and creamy corn soup. Surely this will help remedy what ails him. That soup will help me feel better? Oh ho! A corn soup. It really is the best of foods. I can't get enough of it. I never thought eating only corn could be bad for me, but there's no denying how terrible I've been feeling lately. I suppose I'll need to be more creative with my corn cooking. Thanks for this. You've given me much to think about. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't seen Hadrid lately, I put some new armor on him. Nothing like a nice warm corn soup to warm the belly and the heart. Let this be a reminder, my friend, it is possible to have too much of a good thing, even corn. But in moderation, together with other herbs, spices, and flavorings, you can enjoy a cornucopia of delectable delights. I believe our work here is done, but know that where there are those in need of sustenance, I will be there. Fare thee well! And that's another 2 Tirali corn for our trouble here. Alright, and then there are other quests going on. Let's make our way over to Cosmauka. To Okanu. There they are again. My friend, what brings you all this way? Taking in the sights, sounds, and flavors of Tyrol, I trust? As you might have guessed, there is a Hanu in need of my assistance, and as I yet lack the strength to make to make myself seen, I am in need of your assistance. Follow me, and I shall take you to them. Alrighty. Down here to the southwest. Ugh, my stomach. I can't stand this rationing any longer. My house was flooded in the recent storm, causing most of my food to spoil or rot. I've taken great pains to make what little I have last, but it's simply not enough. I see. She requires food with longevity. Then she shall have the driest of corns my cob can muster. And there, this should suffice. My word, is all this dried corn for me? It would be many moons before I could hope to diminish such a bountiful store, and the crunch is certain to be sublime. Thank you, kind stranger. There is hope for the future yet. Oh, the children will be thrilled. She seemed quite taken with the dried corn, that as well. I shuddered to think what havoc spoiled foods might play on her stomach and bowels. Hunger might well be the least of her problems. Thanks to your timely assistance, however, she and her family will have all the corn they need to help them weather their hardships. Yet there are other empty bellies that beckon, and so I must away. Take care, friend. I hope to see you again. Alright, let's see here. Up next, we need to head to Gibral. Or rather, we need to find a Gibral. So that's going to take us over to Ibrax, I believe? No, Yaktel. Yeah, Ibrax, yeah. Alright, there's the corn servant over there. So we meet again. You're looking well, my friend. Unfortunately, there is at least one Gibral here who is not well, and so I am come to offer them succor and sustenance. Alas, my words yet lack the strength to reach them. Might I prevail upon you to help them in my stead? They're right this way. Alright, let's see what we've got. Say, you're the companion of the third promise, aren't you? I've heard tell of your great strength and valor. Though I aspire to do great things, much like you, I fear I've not the stomach for it. Quite literally, in fact. My family is constantly telling me I must eat meat if I am to build my strength, but my stomach protests every attempt. I simply cannot digest it. Sensitive stomach, is it? What he requires is something filling and nutritious, yet suitable for a delicate constitution. I need but take a generous helping of my corn, raise it to a gentle boil, and there, the corn porridge should do nicely. This corn porridge should do nicely, rather. A porridge made from corn? Even my stomach should be able to handle such a dish, and it looks quite delicious, thank you. Everyone was so insistent that I find a way to consume meat. I never gave thought to alternatives to build up my strength. You've given me much to think about. It is well that his stomach is amenable to my corn-based cuisine. How vexing it must be, struggling to eat food, knowing full well it disagrees with you, and ultimately having little to show for your efforts. But by adjusting his diet, he may yet find his own path. That it should be potentially paved with corn makes it all the sweeter, I say. Speaking of paths, I must follow mine elsewhere, for the clarion call of hungry bellies beckons once more. Stay well and stay fed. Alright, and once again, we're gonna head out, this time to Shaloni. I don't see them locally here. Let's take a closer look around. By the way, this shark here comes from the Occult Crescent, which is yet another topic we'll be talking about here today. Alright, I am hoping that we are back here. That was really strange, but then again, not unexpected. I just rebuilt this computer from the ground up to a brand new installation of Windows, so yeah, I'm not surprised I'm running into bugs here. I guess I'm going to have to do a little bit more testing here just to make sure everything is okay. But anyway, at least for the moment, we seem to be back. Let's see if we can find that corn servant now, and let's hope things hold for the time being, I guess. Here they are. How good to see you. Keeping your belly full throughout your adventures, I hope? A most terrible stomach rumbling drew me to this place, but I am afraid I cannot yet make my presence known to the people here. Might I beg your assistance? It is an otherwise strapping Tonawatan man in dire need of sustenance. If you would follow me. Do you feel it? That foul wind sweeping across the wilds? Stings like this pain in my stomach every time I think about what I did. All I wanted was to get away from home and get out of inheriting that damn farm. I thought if I could find ceruleum out here, I'd strike it rich, so I used every pel to my name to buy mining equipment, and I started digging, day in and day out, hoping to find something, anything to recoup what I'd lost. And all I've found since coming here is disappointment. Oh dear, his stomach is gripped by the deepest despair. What he needs is something to rekindle the flame of hope in his belly. This should serve, corn roasted with the fiery passion that burns in my bosom. Roasted corn. That takes me back. Ma used to make this stuff all the time. God, I was such a horrible kid. Never listened, always complained, but she loved me anyway. If anything happened to me out here, she'd... I don't want to think about it. I should go home and apologize. Maybe see about working those corn crops. Thank goodness we arrived when we did. The roasted corn served well to help remedy what ails him so. Left unchecked, his frustration may well have led to anger he could unleash on himself and others. With a full belly, however, he had the clarity of mind to remember what matters most to him, his family. The rumbling of bellies has ceased here in Husatawi, and so I believe it is time I took my leave. Take care, my friend. Alright, let's see where the next spot takes us to here. Bear with me, I'm still getting everything back up from the crash, so, let's see. So... here we go. Heritage found. Probably in the outskirts. Ah, there it is. My, what a pleasant surprise. I hope you've been well since the appearance of this peculiar place. When first hearing the rumble of a stomach coming from within this dome, I mistook it for the roar of thunder, but sure enough, there was indeed a poor soul in need of my assistance. Would that I could make myself seen to them. I can but assume it was fate that guided you here to see them given the help that they need and deserve. Please, follow me and I shall take you to them. All the way on the west side of town. Try the vegetables from the outskirts, they said. Bah! Who could stand to eat this swill? I can't do it. I won't. A man of Everkeep deserves better than this. With the perfectly manufactured rations of the production facility full to bursting with nutrients, I could easily work for days with little rest. But this? I'd sooner starve myself until my work is done. A rather sophisticated palate, it would seem. Perhaps if I take a generous helping of my kernels, apply a little heat and... pop, pop, pop. There! Let us see what he thinks of my popped corn. What in blazes is this? This is absolutely delicious! Light and fluffy, yet so crunchy, and perfectly salted. I've never seen such a thing in Solution 9. And you say this was made from a vegetable? It would appear the plants grown down here are not to be underestimated. I believe I owe the farmers an apology. The popcorn was a rousing success. He convinced himself that foods should simply be taken as they are, never realizing that they can become so much more given the right preparation. It was heartening to see something so simple as popped kernels could give him a newfound appreciation for food. With that, I believe our work here is done. I can scarcely imagine where my search for bellies in need of nourishment will take me next. Wherever that may be, I should be glad to see you there. Safe travels, my friend. Alright, next let us head elsewhere inside Solution 9. Let's see. That should be it over there. Yes, indeed, there is the corn servant. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you have been well. I, for one, couldn't be better. Is this place not absolutely splendid? A far cry from any other town I've visited thus far. The silence of their bellies is practically deafening. My ear can hear not a single soul in need of nourishment. Might you be willing to help this old cob find their way about the place? Perhaps together we can find someone in need of corn. I knew I could count on you. If you've any preparations to make, pray take your time. I shall remain here ready and waiting. I'm good to go. Are you ready, my friend? Surely there is at least one soul here that seeks fulfillment. Wherever they may be, I'm sure we can find them together. And the corn servant is now following us. Am I hungry? No, not at all. Though Solution 9 was recently attacked, the production facility remains intact to supply us with all the food we could ask for. I can hear not a growl nor a rumble coming from this one's belly. Perhaps we should look elsewhere. Alright, that would take us south, then. I don't know if we're gonna find anything, or anyone in the food court over here. But again, that is just a drink mixer over there, isn't it? Oh, actually, I should go ahead and talk to them now that I think about it. Okay, they really don't have much to say. Am I feeling peckish? That's a rather curious thing to ask about. The only thing I'm worrying about is nursing this injury from the recent attack. Food is the least of my concerns. So the twinge of pain I felt in her was from an injury, not hunger. Alright, let's try to the west. Do I look hungry to you? No, I don't need food, but I could certainly do with a drink. What I wouldn't do for an energy drink right about now. Just one and I could easily keep working all day. We were close, but not quite right. Let us keep searching. Alright, I believe we are being pointed to the southeast now. Are you hungry? Want to know if I'm feeling hungry? I suppose you could say I do. A strange thing to say in a place like this, where most, if not all of our needs are easily met. I wouldn't normally ask this of someone I don't know, but might I speak candidly about something? It's not every day someone takes an interest in my problems. I'm not sure why, but recently I haven't been able to taste anything, no matter what I eat. Because of that, I've been gradually losing interest in food. I realize I have to eat for the sake of my health, but now it's become a chore I'd rather avoid altogether. How terrible. A life without flavor is no life at all. But how am I to help her? I've got it! First, I grind corn into powder, work it into a dough, then use heat to make thin shells. Then we mix together several extra ingredients, layer them into shells, and there! The most tantalizing of tacos! Surely this will reawaken her taste buds. Why is he reaching into that corn? Wait, the corn can move? You prepared something for me? But I told you, I'm not really in the mood. This dish was cooked by the great corn servant. The corn servant? I have no idea what you're talking about. It's meant to be something special. Alright, let's have it. It certainly has an interesting smell. Oh, that was incredible! I can't remember when last I've had anything so delicious. Reawakened your taste buds, huh? There was someone who used to make these for me when I was younger. I think. It was their specialty. I wish I could remember who, but I'm afraid that memory is lost to me. Like as not, they're in the cloud now. Something tells me they were quite near and dear to my heart, but it's all a blank now. I'm not sad about it, but I do feel a strange, lingering sense of loss. It's hard to explain. The feeling grew over time, and before I knew it, my sense of taste was gone. But this food, this texture, the smell, the taste, it takes me back to my youth. Thank you, traveler. I've been reminded of something very precious that would have remained lost if not for you. I promise to do better about eating from now on. And thank you, little corn cob. Your cooking was simply divine. Appreciation for the corn servant. Just when all hope seemed lost, corn has prevailed once again. It was admittedly shocking to discover that even in a world where no one goes hungry, there could be such terrible discontent. But with a little corn and know-how, we rekindled the memories of happier times in her. It does my cob good to see all go to plan. What's more, she was able to see me! Through the power of corn and happiness, no doubt. I've seen a great deal on my travels thus far, and helped no few people find satiation, but there is still much of Tyrol I've yet to see, and more bellies in need of nourishment. I wish you well, my friend. May your belly be ever be full, and your days filled with happiness. And this time, we get the corn servant as a minion! Let's go ahead and use that and pop them out here real quick here. I think they're on a different page. There they are. Alright, so there is actually more to this quest line, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we have next here. So, for this, we need to head to Tuliyollal. I believe we're headed right back to the same spot where we started this whole quest line. Well, if it isn't my dear friend Prince, I trust you've seen your fair share of adventure and delectable delights since last we met. Indeed, I still have the minion you gave me. That is well. Would that I had similar tidings to share, but in truth, these old colonels find themselves in need of assistance. I sense a belly possessed of monstrous appetite has found its way to Bayside Bevy, you see. 'Tis a hunger so ravenous, it shook me to my very cob. I dare not confront it alone, but now I have you. No problem, Rooks. You've been missing a very corny time here, as you can see. That is, of course, assuming you would accompany me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the minion version away, just so we don't get confused about which one's the real one. So you'll join me then? Ah, what joy it is to bask again in the warmth of your generous heart. Oh, there's been more than just, Actually, no, they haven't talked about butter and salt just quite yet, I think. But, yeah, there's been a lot of corn on the menu here. Once we arrive, I but need you to keep watch while I see out the belligerent belly that cries for satiation. Alright, they are following us once again. Say, is that not the kindly woman we met once before? Ah, it's you. My, what a time for reunions this has been. My daughter had been missing for some time, you see, but I found her in Yasulani at long last. A most joyous, yet shocking occasion, for now she's nearly as old as I am. Would that her father could see us, a pair of old maids. We're together now, though, and that's what's important. Oh, but listen to me prattling on. I'm sure you have better things to be doing. Take care, sir, and thank you again for your kindness. A heart and belly once pained, but now at peace. No doubt she and her daughter have enjoyed many a delicious corn-filled dish together. We know this fellow, do we not? You're that corn-peddling stranger from before. If you're worried about what I've been up to, you needn't be. I went and got my life together just like I said I would. Even managed to find a new job. A friend of mine put in a good word for me over at Aunt T's. So the next time you see me, I'll be grinding corn to make tasty tortillas. Be sure to stop by sometime, and I'll pay you back for that grilled corn. Did he say he'll be making corn tortillas? Oh, how delightful. And we have another spot up here. There it is. The malign rumblings of a hunger most foul. Pray, wait here while I seek out the offended stomach. The rumblings are coming from... Is that the same Pelu from before? The Pelu Pelu fellow over there. Might you go over and ask if aught troubles his mind or stomach? Something troubling you? I'm sorry, you want to know if I'm having stomach problems? No, I can't say that I am, though I have been having strange cravings as of late. Ugh, terrible cravings for... blood. I yearn for blood! Wait, this baleful hunger is not his own. He's been possessed. Leave him be, spirit. Leave him be and show yourself. Well, what have we here? A blade made sentient by an esurient spirit, and a rather ancient one at that. Long, long ago, when the lands were barren and the people desperate, they would offer up ritual sacrifices in hopes of a bountiful harvest. The rites required the tithe of a beating heart, cut by stone blades that supped on life force and made nascent spirits like the one that sways before us. But once the people received of my corny blessings, they no longer had need of such practices. The rites and rituals were buried, along with their tools. Oh wow. Okay, we have the aggressive possibility or the passive one. Do you suppose one of your corn dishes would sate its hunger? Perhaps the juice of a corn. No, I fear a spirit of this nature has little interest in the niceties of corn, but there must be something that can satisfy it. I've got it. I cannot prepare aught to suit its palate, but you can. You slay all manner of beasts on your travels, do you not? Were you to take this dagger into your possession, it could then feast on the life force of your fallen foes, thereby satiating its hunger. Assuming, of course, this gentleman would be willing to part with it. That dagger is the reason why I've been feeling so strange? Come to think of it, I'd never had such weird cravings before buying it. And insofar as it being a knife for ancient rituals, the peddler who sold it to me did say they found it in the aftermath of a landslide caused by the Great Storm. If you're willing to risk keeping that thing, far be it from me to stop you. I won't charge you either. Having a clear head will be payment enough. Good luck. Given what you've learned of this spirit, You have elected to refer to it as the Death Servant. You cannot help but wonder if the blood of your enemies alone will suffice to stay its hunger. With that settled, perhaps the two of you should take a moment to get acquainted. Go on now, don't be shy. Say hello to your new companion. I do believe they've taken a liking to you, and so long as they are permitted to feast upon the beasts slain on your adventures, you needn't worry about the ill effects of their appetite. A rather unexpected turn of events, would you not agree? Would that all appetites could be sated with corn, but alas, hunger is a fickle fiend not so easily overcome. Thanks to good friends like you, however, I need not contend with such challenges alone. Indeed, I have been blessed by the fertile soils of trust and acceptance to cultivate such a beautiful friendship. I have little more than my cob to offer, but I should hope this will suffice as fitting payment. A decadent dish made with the finest corn. And with that, I must take my leave. Until we meet again, my friend. So, we now have the Death Servant as a minion, as well as tacos de carne asada. Which actually, I already have 88 of these here, so... well, 80, basically a whole bunch of them already. they work out as great tank food, at least for right now. Alright, so I believe that is the end of the quest line, at least for now. This was a quest that came out in 7.0, but then got updated in 7.2, so we'll see if it gets updated again in the future. With that done, we've got several other things we need to look at here today. This episode is kind of like a hybrid episode, if I'm being honest, because it's not just only this. We're going to be going to several other hanging threads that I need to close out, including a portion of the show where it's going to be a pre-recorded segment. We'll get to that later today, but for right now, what I want to do is I want to hand something in that was actually a total surprise earlier today. This has been a long time coming, and in the, I think it's like 7 or 8 years I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV, this has never happened before. And it is a huge occasion that basically I have finally hit the 3 lines in what's called Wondrous Tales. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Wondrous Tales, what it is basically, it's a way for you to effectively, basically every week you're given one of these books, and you're given this grid of assignments to complete, and if you complete 9 of them, you're able to then hand the book in. And each time that you fill out a symbol, there's a chance that you're going to get, you're always going to get a symbol, but there's always the chance that you're going to get a line or multiple lines. In this particular case, I've finally gotten the perfect grouping of them, which gives me 3 lines here. Kinda, yeah, Rooks. I have no say over what gets filled in here, and in fact, if you look at the pattern on the left here, it does not match the pattern on the right, so what stickers go into place are completely random here. So for getting the full book done here, I'm going to be able to get a whole bunch of stuff here, including a choice of a Platinum piece, 500 Poetics, or a Braxkin map, as well as for the 1-line reward, 1 MGP gold card, a Chloe's Bronze Certificate of Commendation, or 50 Allegan Tomestones of Mathematics. These tomestones update every time new tomestones are updated. Oh, they're not showing up? One moment. Let me do a quick test here. Looks like my message showed up. Can you try it again, Brooks? Okay, now it's working. All right. I think what happened was I didn't have something popped out that was needed for it to show up properly. Anyway, so 2 lines. I'm gonna get either the 2 of the MGP Platinum cards, the Chloe Silver Certificate of Commendation, or 500 Heliometry Tomestones. And then for 3 lines, I have a choice of 20 MGP Platinum cards, so that's 1 million MGP for the Gold Saucer. I could take a Chloe's Gold Certificate of Commendation, or I can take 3 of Chloe's Silver Certificate of Commendation. And the thing is, MGP, yeah, it's nice, but ultimately it's that gold one that I want. Because if I talk to Chloe over here, and we go under the Gold Certificate of Commendation, we can see that she has, and this gets updated every time there's new gear that comes out. They have the Ornate Ceremonial Corselet of Fending. And the thing is, this is built in such a way whereby all 5 of the materia slots are ready to be filled. You do not have to do overmelding with this, which is basically where you take a chance that whatever you meld on is going to work on it after the first 2 slots. I think when you go for the 3rd slot, it's a 17% chance of materia sticking. For the 4th, I think it's 10%. And then for the last slot, it's 5% of materia sticking. So it can get expensive trying to put materia onto gear, especially when it's piece after piece after piece. So usually it's best to hang on to the gold certificates until it's time for new gear to come out, and you just pick up that gear day 1 and throw it on the market and just make millions and millions of gil. That said, let's go ahead and hand this thing in. So hand over a journal. And there's actually a cutscene with this. Oh, wow! Wow, 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 wow! Chloe can't believe her eyes. Did you really do all of this? This will make, like, Chloe's bestest story ever. Here, Chloe will give you some of her bestest stuff ever. Alright, so let me see where I am with things here. Okay, so I can take the Poetics. And then I'm gonna go with the Bronze Certificate, the Silver Certificate, and the Gold Certificate. Accept. And that's the other thing with Wondrous Tales. If you have any classes or jobs that you don't have leveled up yet, this will give you a full level when you complete it. Thank you so much, Prince. This will make Chloe's best friend so happy. Chloe thanks you from the bottom of her heart. Alright, so all these certificates I'm just hanging on to for the time being. One thing I will say that I've learned is these certificates can actually be very useful when it comes time for a new expansion. Because you can basically just drop a bunch of the certificates on Chloe, and they will give you all the materia that you would need for the initial run of the expansion. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing another expansion for at least another, I would say, 1.5 to 2 years at this point. But it's good to have them in tow here. Alright, that's knocked out. Let us now make our way over to Nitowikwe over in Shaloni. Since I still need to do my custom deliveries for this week. I've been using a bunch of crafting scripts as of late. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm keeping up with that here. So let's see what they need this week. They need engineer supply kits. Alright, so we're gonna grab 6 of these here. And we'll go to custom deliveries, Nitowikwe. Alright. And I can't autocraft that with the quickest one. Let me get myself set up here. Oops. Actually, I should restart that one. Because I'm not going to have access to the stuff I use at the start. So we're gonna reflect. And then innovation. Basic touch. Standard touch. And then I've got some of this stuff going here, which is fun whenever this pops up. This means I've got a good status here. Let me see where the calculations end up here. So that won't quite get me all the way that I need. Let's go advanced touch then. Perfect. Alright, and then we're going to train perfection. And then we will innovate one more time. That should be good enough. Byrogot's blessing. And then we're going to Master's Mend. Followed by Veneration. Waste Not. And Groundwork. Groundwork. And Groundwork. Perfect. Of course, that's not the only way to make this, to do crafting. There is a tool I've been using outside the game as of late, which actually makes crafting this stuff really, really easy. It's a program called Raphael, and it's basically you put in your current stats along with what it is that you're trying to craft, and it just spits out a macro for you. So let me go ahead and do that here. Currently on Alchemist. I need to load my stats in again. So I am currently at 5399 for the craftsmanship, 4969 for control. And 628 for CP, or crafting points. With that, then, we just go over here. Use your macros, where I've got this one set up as just something I use whenever I just need to craft something quick. And let's craft away. Alright, that's the second one done. Yeah, this program makes it really easy to figure out your crafts. It's, the only thing that it's not really effective against are expert crafts where the conditions can be quite varied. If you have the stats to effectively make it so that you don't have to worry about the expert portion, then you can kind of brute force it then. But generally with expert crafts, especially current level expert crafts, you kind of just have to take it looking at what the different conditions are and change your crafting as the condition of the craft happens here. So in some cases, it might cost you less CP, or you might get double duration out of certain actions that you take. Just for example of what expert crafting is. Alright, and on to the last one. Alright, let us speak to Nidawikwe. And we are going to hand all these over. Actually, it looks like I need to spend some orange scripts real quick here. I'll just grab one of these. Actually, no, I'll grab the CP one. You don't want to overcap, because once you hit the cap, you don't get any of what's missing. Or rather, it doesn't let you go beyond 4,000 scripts. So you're effectively wasting them if you do that. Alright, wait right here. I gotta show the boys. They'll be ecstatic. Guess what, Prince? When I showed them your latest delivery, they insisted on thanking you themselves. Prince, you rascally aspis. These supplies you brought us are better than I could have dreamed. You should hear what the others are saying. They feel like, they like the feel of the tools so much, they've half a mind to build another train. It's about time. You know, I've been thinking, perhaps our next model ought to fly. With the dome's technology, that may just be possible. But can it still be called a train if it doesn't need tracks? I don't know. Let's ask Emmett Brown, shall we? Yeah, what can I say? I love Back to the Future. Anyway. Then again, when it comes to trains, perhaps no dream is too big. If it were me, why, I'd create the Dawn Blazer, armed to the spokes with weaponry. We can discuss your ideas in further detail after our railroad spans the length of Tyrol. Now get back to work. It's great to see the boys so passionate about their work. Thanks again, Prince. If you've a little more time to spare, I have an update about our progress. Alright, so Gatherer's Guile Materia 10, Craftsman Command Materia 10, and Stuffed Peppers at high quality. So, Nitawikwe could not be happier with your efforts. She now considers you a savior of the railing. Your contributions thus far have kept the railing rolling, but it seems Nitawikwe needs to speak with you. New quest continuing the story of the Shock Tyrol railing is now available. Upon its completion, the custom deliveries list for Nitawikwe will be updated. Thanks for another great delivery, Prince. The boys get so giddy when we hear that you're coming. Even Walika. Then again, I reckon I'm no different. Getting my paws on those much-needed supplies is always the highlight of my day. But I'd be lying if I said your presence was any less heartening. Okay, that was just the one for filling all 6 slots for the week. Okay. I can't thank you enough, Prince. Your contributions have kept both our operations and the train running smoother than a Ronik's backside. Everyone's settled into a rhythm, passengers and staff alike. And because of that, Walika has made progress on the railroad repair project. Remember the business proposal he was drafting? He submitted it to the Wing of Reflection, and they've granted us clearance to begin construction. As a matter of fact, Val Wuklamot helped in the negotiations and recruited some Alexandrian engineers to come and help. They should be arriving any minute. Seeing as you know these folks, I reckon you ought to attend. Head to the Shaloni station, and I'll be there once I've rounded up the others. That takes us to the east. Where are they? I asked Val Wuklamot to have them wait here after deboarding. Forgive me the delay, everyone, I confess. I have long sought the opportunity to explore my mother's homeland, and found myself distracted upon arriving. Well, if it ain't Prince, mighty fine place y'all have here. It is him. What in the world are you doing here? It's great to meet the face behind the letters. I'm Walika, station master of Shock Tyrol Railing. We enlisted Prince to help, to assist with our operations. Wuklamot's a good friend, and when she made mention of your plan to reconnect the rails, we were glad to volunteer. And this is our mediator from the outskirts. the closest settlement to Yasalini Station. I come on behalf of our leader, Pepone. We welcome the reopening of Yasalani Station, and as such, are willing to discuss a loan of laborers to your cause. That'd be a great help. We're prepared to invest as many resources as we can, but the work will go faster with more hands. Likewise, it would be our pleasure to help you build the bridge between our two communities. This undertaking will change countless lives for the better, and I can't wait to see how it will bring people together. Great to have you all on board. Here's a copy of the proposal for your reference. But first, you folks deserve some time to experience the lands outside the dome. Your next destination is the palace, I take it? Go and enjoy Tuliyollal. I've never known a more vibrant city. Much obliged, Walika. When we return, let's get down to business, eh? Alright, you all go on and head back to work without me, will you? I'll be along later. What's gotten into her now? Look, I need to get this paperwork back to the office. Can you check on her for me? Leave it to me. Perhaps one of them has a face she knows or something. It's just a lot to care about, you know? What? Didn't think me the type to wax sentimental? Well, you've caught me. I'm not like you or the Dawn servants. I can't twist myself into knots over the plight of a stranger. I'm just a train driver. I already had my hands full with Walika, our staff, and our riders. Then I met you, and everything changed. That girl was right. We are building a bridge. Soon, our reach will extend farther than I ever dreamed possible. And, well, as happy as I am to have more freight, sometimes I worry my engine's too weak to carry it, so to speak. But Walika's poured his soul into this railroad, and so have I. Of all the many people it brings into our lives, not one of them is a stranger to me. You think I agreed to drive the Dawn Blazer on a lark? It was because you got us the timber for new railroad ties. You earned my trust with that, Prince. And your presence here today proves that it's paid off. The Dawn Blazer saved a great many lives that day. I was prepared for the worst, you know. Glad it didn't come to that. Supposing fate decided that was my last drive, I would have spent my final moments furious at myself for missing what came next. I wouldn't have regretted it, though. Not if it kept all my loved ones safe from harm. It's a lot to juggle, isn't it? Caring for so many. But I reckon I'll simply have to figure it out as I go. Prince! Nidawikwe! We were, just wondering what was taking the two of you so long. Something I should know about? Oh, you know me. I was just giving Prince one of my usual lectures on the unparalleled superiority of our locomotives. Damn right! Have you told him all the improvements we've made with the prototype? Enough chit-chat. There's still much to be done if we're to make the cross-country rail into a reality. Alright, and let us hand in this quest. Listen, Prince, that conversation was intended for your ears only, alright? Don't go blabbing to anyone. Now then, I foresee a lot of hustle and bustle once the repair project takes off, but I think I'll keep running operations for the time being. I'd appreciate your continued support whenever you have time to provide it. You'll be duly compensated, of course. We may need to stock up on a few things, so I hope you're not opposed to repeat commissions. Oh, and before I forget, I'll be learning to work the ticket booth next. So, look, you know a thing or two about being in the public eye, right? I've no interest in fashion, but if I'll be speaking with customers, I figure I should try to look more presentable. So, if you have any ideas for a work uniform, bring them by. Further requests will be selected at random from all those you have seen thus far, with the list refreshed once a week. You may review the items currently in demand at any time by speaking with Nidawikwe and selecting Make a Delivery. Note that railroad repair kits, track bed repair materials, and cenote oysters will earn you particularly handsome rewards. Whenever they make an appearance, the effort to procure them will be worth your while. Furthermore, Nidawikwe's appearance may now be altered through the use of glamours. And that's basically the ultimate reward of completing all this. You're basically able to dress them up however you want. That plus a bit further in, and I'm trying to remember where it is. Let's see. Nope, it's not there. Not commendation. No. Well, anyway, there's additional achievements to be achieved by continuing to support Nidawikwe, and that's the case with all the custom deliveries that you can do. If I go under relevant and watch list, do I have it set here? Yes. Okay. So there are achievements that you're able to earn 6 achievements by giving a total of 150 collectibles to each of the custom delivery people. And so as you can see, I am fairly progressed on a bunch of them at this point. Although Nidawikwe is one that I still have to make progress on, as well as Margaret. But that's stuff I'm working on in off on the side. All right, so with that done, let us make our way over to Tuliyollal. Bear with me for one moment. I'm just making a note of everything we've done so far here. Okay. We are going to teleport over to here. and we are headed to the Phantom Village. Now, you might remember last time I left off needing to get a fate done. And that fate did eventually come up, and I was able to get it completed. In fact, I completed it a couple of times, so that's why I've got 2 of these Void Sent contracts. We're gonna go ahead and hand this in now. And we'll see what's next here. Hello, Archive. I'm convinced the Void Sent contract will prove the strongest conduit for accessing more of my knowledge. Keep an eye out for what we need once you fell your mark. Oh, daubed with the blood of the island's architect himself. This will do nicely. With the seal further diminished, I can reveal what I knew all along. The architect was fearful of something being stolen, and thus employed Void Sent to guard his monuments. Wardens for his museum, eh? Perhaps the magical barrier surrounding the isle was intended for the same defensive purpose. Protecting mirages, repelling all approaches, and for the ill-fated ships that did make landfall a swift end. What do you reckon our architect wanted to protect so fiercely? It was the very wisdom of mankind in crystalline form, forbidden knowledge so potent as to threaten the star itself. A fairy? Do you hail from Ilmeg or somewhere else? Sealed away in the Forked Tower, preserved, but forever outside of reach. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I forgot. This was Iris. We've met them before in all this. We met them fairly early in the adventure, actually, to the Occult Crescent. You onerous little usurper. That was my explanation to give. The peak of 5th Astral Era civilization is preserved here on the Isle, but the city-states left a blighted legacy, sparking the War of the Magi and unleashing disaster on the world. I suppose the architect balked at the loss of all that knowledge, but feared what would happen if it passed into the wrong hands. A head full of facts and figures alone serves the thinker no practical purpose. Only once applied and directed is knowledge truly ascendant. A spiteful barb directed at my poor self, no doubt. The woe of knowing many things yet recalling so few, of mastering the arcane arts yet being incapable of the simplest spell. Tell me, Prince, does the knowledge sealed away in the tower she spoke of pique your interest? In the right hands, it would prove a boon to mankind. I see. You reckon we'll find the architect himself inside this forked tower? 'Tis a possibility, though there are in fact 2 towers on this isle. The Tower of Blood on the South Horn, and its northern component, the Tower of Magic. Given that we're dealing with a mage capable of casting an isle-wide ward, I dare say he'll be in the latter. You seem to know an awful lot about these towers. Did that part of your knowledge get unsealed too? Indeed, although in truth, I've known of such matters all along. You are but starting to glimpse my near infinite wisdom. Any road, we've yet to find a route through to the North Horn. The expedition will maintain a presence here at the base camp, but it's time to begin planning the next phase. Join me in the Phantom Village when you're ready. What? Are you sure? Just had an update from our scouting party. I'm guessing you've noticed the strange auroras that light up the sky every now and then. Well, there's a tower to the west that only shows up during those conditions, and our scouts say they found a way in. Ring any bells? That would be the Fork Tower, most likely. The Tower of Blood, eh? Sounds to me like we're talking about the very same structure. Any road, when it's visible, an ethereal node appears in the solitary pavilion over on Heathcliff. The scouts reckon it'll whisk you off to the tower if you stand on it. None of them fancy trifling with it, so if you're curious about what lies inside this Tower of Blood, you'll have to investigate yourself. Right, that's all from me. When you head back to the Phantom Village, make sure Captain Ram hears about all this. Alright, the Fork Tower Blood, now accessible. The island's architect has been added to the occult record. You have more to say? Whether you investigate the tower or not is entirely your choice. As for the expedition, you'll want to parlay with Kittenram and figure out the next steps. Okay. Back to the Phantom Village we go then. Archive. As you unravel this mystery, the seal upon my knowledge steadily crumbles. It is an odd connection we share, but a connection nonetheless. That's all well and good, but we're already set on following the Archive's hunch, focusing on its counterpart on the North Horn. Besides, I'm reluctant to send the crew to investigate. There's no telling what's inside. For some reason, I look kind of sad there. That said, I won't get in your way if you've a mind to satisfy your curiosity. Well, with the village and base camp secure, now's as good a time as any to regroup and plot our next move. Of course, the fact remains, we're trapped on this rock for the foreseeable future. I, for one, won't consider this a success until the whole crew is back in Tuliyollal, drinking their fill at Gibraltar. We're yet to uncover the architect's true identity, and I'm still curious as to why we haven't encountered any survivors. We've a ways to go on the mystery-solving front. In the meantime, I want you to travel back to Tuliyollal and give a progress report to the expedition messenger. I'll get word to you as soon as we establish a route to the North Horn. Until then, take care of yourself, my friend. Alright, so we need to head back to Tuliyollal then. You sense a westbound flow of ethereal energy. Riding this current will provide passage to Tuliyollal. And here we are. As I live and breathe, you've made it back. What of old Kettenram and the rest of the crew? They're doing fine. So they're stuck there. Heavens. The island sounds more perilous than Shade's Triangle. At least you've been able to establish a foothold. Anyhow, I imagine you'll want to rest up and recover your energies for what's to come. I shan't keep you any longer. And with that, we have an achievement unlocked. And that does it for the Occult Crescent for the time being. Now, there is the Blood Tower, but the thing of the matter is, basically, Yoshi P in the last live letter basically had to make some apologies for what was happening in terms of the content. Part of that included the fact that basically people were unable to group up before going into the tower, and that was causing all sorts of confusion about who was getting in and how much trouble it was to even start the thing, because you needed a certain number of resources just to get through the first boss. So because of all that, Yoshi P had to make an apology, and my understanding is eventually what they're going to do is they're going to make it so that you can just simply queue in to the tower, and it's basically going to be at that point that we're actually going to be taking a look at the tower, because I just don't have anything to really... I don't have any players ready, aside from myself here, that... and technically, even I'm not ready to go in, because you need to be knowledge level 20, and I'm only at 16 right now, so we still have a ways to wait on that. We'll see if they have that ready for 7.3, or if it's going to be longer than that. Alright, next, let's make our way over to Doc Poga in Cosmouka. Alright, so we've had a long-standing quest, well, a bunch of events happening here, whereby we needed to help Liplu with some stuff. And while I stand here right now, my reputation has gone up multiple times since we last spoke with them. And the thing is, there's quite an involved storyline through all of that. And so what I have done prior to this episode is I prepared all of that in a string of videos that we're gonna be that I'm gonna be playing for you now here. And once that all wraps up, we're then going to wrap up by finishing up whatever Liplu has, what should be the last quest of this whole thing. So, let me go ahead and turn you over to the myself of the past, and, yeah, I'll see you in about, 75 minutes or so. Alright, everyone, so I have the Pelu Pelu Max for the first time for the reputation, so let's go ahead and talk to Liplu here, and see what they have to say to us. So the quest is a tentative first tour. Prince, so good to see you again. Thanks to you, the Tuliyollal travel agency is almost ready to open for business. Though truth be told, we've already taken our first booking, and so soon after we started promoting our services in Tuliyollal. A momentous occasion indeed. Our first customer is a Hetsaru named Sia. Apparently, he works for the Wing of Reflection in the capital. He's traveling by alpaca and should arrive any moment now. I'd like you to join me in giving him a warm Cosmo Uka welcome. I've got a few loose ends to tie up here, but I'll join you by the entrance when I'm done. Alrighty. And there's our destination over there. See ya, I presume? Welcome. How was your journey? Well met, Liplu. Thanks to my fuzzy friend here, I had a delightful trip. It speaks volumes that you've partnered with the porters to ensure your customers are well cared for. What a spectacular place this is. The journey alone has raised my expectations. Such breathtaking views. I've always longed to explore Dawntrail, but I lacked the courage to take that first step. So when I heard of your venture, Liplu, I couldn't believe my luck. I look forward to seeing what you've got in store for me. You won't soon forget your time here. That's a Tuliyollal travel agency guaranteed. Well, without further ado, let's get you registered. If you head to the reception, I'll be with you shortly. I have a small favor to ask. Sia has requested a guided tour, and I'd hate for something to happen to our very first guest. Having you keep an eye on things would take the weight off my mind. May I impose upon you to accompany Sia and his guide as they explore the local area? Excellent. Well, I better go and deal with the paperwork. Come and find me when you're ready. Alrighty. Just to confirm, you booked the Hanu culture experience, correct? That's right. If I could squeeze in a spot of fishing too, that'd be wonderful. I'm a keen angler in my spare time, you see. Absolutely. In that case, we can stop by Breath Between on our route. But first, I'll give you a thorough tour of our village. Now, customer safety is paramount for the Tuliyollal Travel Agency, which is why our special advisor, Prince, will be joining you. You were part of the Dawn Servant's entourage during the Rite of Succession, weren't you? Everyone at the Wing of Reflection knows your exploits well. How reassuring that you'll be watching over us. Likewise, it's heartening to have you with us. And on that note, shall we make our way to Okanu? Safe travels. I hope you have a wonderful time. Alright, so we are making our way over to Okanu. Looks like they're over here somewhere. Here we go. During the Rite of Succession, Dawn servant Wook Lamont had us restore the lifting of wings, Iana, to its former glory. This is the float that was repaired for the festival. Ah, I had heard tales, but to see the real thing is something else entirely. I'm starting to get a sense of how important reeds are to the Hanu Hanu, not to mention how many different things you use them for. Cooking, construction, the list goes on. Fascinating. Nothing could make me happier than seeing other Tuliyollal take an interest in our culture. That alone makes this job worthwhile. Now that you've visited Okanu, let's head for Breath Between and see if those fish are biting today. Oh, and in case you're wondering, we even use reeds as bait. Sia's tour is progressing smoothly, and the pair have set off for a spot of fishing at Breath Between. Continue to keep an eye on them and ensure that neither come to any harm. Alright, for that we are headed south. Alright, we have arrived. It isn't every day you get to cast your line in such beautiful surroundings. I'll be coming back with my own gear, that's for sure. We Hanu love to feel the wind in our feathers as we fish. It is as though we are cradled by Kishahi's divine protection, from head to talon. Say, I don't suppose you know of any fishing spots off the beaten trail. There are a fair few anglers here beside us, and I haven't had a single bite yet. Perhaps Cave Kikitola would fit the bill. It's a modest walk away, but the fish are plentiful, and one may cast their line in peace and quiet. That sounds perfect. If it's not too much trouble, I'd love to make the trip. My only concern is the fiends, but I ought to do all I can to accommodate Sia's wishes. Of course, let's make our way there. Onward to Cave Kikitola. Sia seems to be enjoying the tour so far, but danger may be afoot. Follow the pair to Cave Kikitola and keep watch as they continue fishing. Alright, that takes us to the west. This is probably where we're going to start running into some enemies. The sound of flowing water echoes throughout the cavern as you scan your surroundings and listen intently for signs of trouble. Fortunately, no beasts reveal themselves to you. Okay, on to the next spot. The sound of flowing water echoes throughout the cavern as you scan your surroundings and listen intently for signs of trouble. Fortunately, no beasts reveal themselves to you. Alright, last point. In the darkness, something hungers. A foul presence draws near, with murderous designs. Let's take care of these Orbon. Ah, one more for the party. Alright, let's meet up with the group here. What an excellent catch! Thanks for bringing me here. Oh no, the pleasure is all mine. If it pleases you, we can have the cook serve your fish at your next meal. And leftovers may be dried and prepared as a treat for the journey home. My, that sounds absolutely lovely. And with that, let us return to Doc Poga. Thank you again for standing watch on our tour. Alright, back to Doc Poga. Ah, welcome back. Sia and Zelihali had just returned. What a wonderful experience. Not only did I learn about the area and its people, but the tour was tailored to my every whim. This will be the talk of Tuliyollal. That said, I couldn't help but notice one glaring flaw. You're aware of what I speak, aren't you, Prince? Did something happen during the tour? I may have had to dispatch a few ravenous fiends. You did indeed, yes. Albeit so swiftly that I never felt as though I was in danger. You dealt with these fiends by yourself. Are you alright? There are few who could have handled the creatures so effortlessly, and that's where the problem lies. One day, you will take your leave of the Tuliyollal travel agency, and they will be hard-pressed to find someone of comparable skill. How then is the agency to ensure the safety of future guests, I wonder? I see what you're saying. Having Prince here with us is truly a blessing, but not a blessing we can rely upon forever. Exactly. Customer safety should be a core pillar of your business. You'll need stronger measures in place to account for any dangers that may arise. I should mention that the Wing of Reflection considers tourism to be a vital part of our nation's future. All the more so as we forge ties with foreign powers and promote the exchange of cultures moving forward. Complications notwithstanding, I'm glad I could personally experience the joy of sightseeing. Please don't hesitate to consult with us so we may iron out any other issues, and nurture this industry together in the months and years to come. We should be glad to do so, and may I say that devising a security plan that doesn't require our resident adventurer will be a top priority. I feel ashamed. It never crossed my mind that entrusting our safety to Prince alone might be a problem. I'd like to do my part to protect our guests during their stay. I think I speak for all my fellow guides when I say that. Perhaps our special advisor would be willing to train us? A wonderful idea. Your skill with wind magics is a boon for sure, but your local knowledge and experience dealing with the region's fiends makes you all the more qualified for this duty. Still, to be safe, I propose we assign 2 guides per group. per tour group. That way, we alleviate the burden and better guarantee group safety. Though, we'll need proper facilities, a place to train and space to house supporting staff. It could amount to quite the expenditure. My inner abacus is clacking away. It tells me this is a prime investment opportunity, made possible because we identified the problem early. Of course, we're still counting on your help, Prince. There's plenty to be done besides guide tour training and warding off fiends. We may have welcomed our first customer, but the real test is yet to come. Alright, the first quest is done. And our reputation should be going up in a moment here. But first, we have new facilities to look at. A new guide training facility has been established at the Tuliyollal Travel Agency base of operation, where candidates may look to your example as they hone their skills. The new policy of assigning 2 guides to each group will ensure none come to harm in your absence. Continue assisting Liplu and her associates, and ensure visitors leave refreshed, reinvigorated, and ready to spread the word about Cosmouka's all-new tours to Enterprise. There's the reputation. Alright, reputation increased to trusted. You have achieved trusted reputation with the Tuliyollal Travel Agency. New Pelu Pelu Society daily quests are now available from Yubbly at Dock Poga. Furthermore, you will be able to undertake 3 additional quests from Yubbly as a reputation bonus. This bonus is available until the daily reset time for Allied Society quests. These additional quests will become available after accepting all current daily quests from Yubbly. Please be advised that you cannot undertake these quests if you have no remaining allowances. And we now have access to a wider selection of wares from Pavli. Alright, so that is the first reputation increase that we have received. So, from here, we're going to take a time warp until I get my next reputation bar ready to go here. I will see you then. Okay, another set of reputation done. It's time to move on to the next quest from Liplu. Did you hear? Business is booming at the Tuliyollal Travel Agency. Thanks to you and the Hanu, we've been seeing stellar sales. And our new policies and training are all paying off. Not a single one of our customers has been accosted by fiends. Needless to say, they find the presence of their guides-turned-protectors thoroughly reassuring. Still, a few issues have come to light. First and foremost, our reach. So far, our tours have been limited to downstream Cosmouka, but many guests have expressed a desire to see the region's upper reaches. With that in mind, I contacted Mablu and asked her to gauge how receptive the Moblins might be to the whole tourism concept. We're about to hold a meeting to discuss the matter, and I'd love to have you join us. When you're ready, head to Elder Zanu Hali's residence in Okuhanu. Alrighty. Then we are headed to Okanu? Over this way. There you are. The meeting will be held on the second floor. Earthenshire's Rock will be joining us. I look forward to hearing about the Potsworn's position on tourists coming to visit. Mablu seemed to think the artisans were enthused. Still, I can't help but feel nervous. What an honor this is. Rock, Liplu, and Prince himself, thank you for coming. Rock didn't know you were involved in Looky Tour busy deals. How delightful it is to meet again. The peddler mentioned your proposal to bring tourists to Earthenshire, and we should be glad to welcome them with open arms. The Potsworn were very supportive too. That's fantastic. Thank you. Though I have to ask, what if our customers distract your artisans from their work? I'd hate for this arrangement to negatively impact Earthenshire's trade. No need for worry frowns. Many Potsworn themselves think contact with outsiders will provide fresh inspiration. We are happy to guide walk visitors too. Until recently, many help hands were recovering from hurdy feels, but the situation has greatly improved. Besides, it will bring more opportunities to sell crafty goods. Mobbies will make sure the Potsworn can keep working unhindered, even during the Looky Tours. It should indeed. Our wares are proving popular with visitors to Okanu, and the proceeds have enriched the community. Everyone stands to benefit. It fills me with joy to hear stories of happiness spread through trade. Rock does have one question. The Great Stairs are still impassable as repairs are ongoing. So how will visitors reach Earthenshire? About time they addressed that. That's been ongoing since the main story. Liplu and I have discussed the matter at length. We'll send them over on flying Panuites. I don't know how to respond to that. A handful of Panuti barges ply the waters between upstream Cosmouka and Tuliyollal, but there's no direct route to the downstream region. The massive waterfall that lies between complicates matters. Traveling by boat, you have to head downstream, then join oh my goodness, that name. Ihukatumu, and double back. It's quite convoluted. But there is an alternative, though seldom used since the flight of Wee Wingless was built. Wee Hanu once imbued Panutis with the gift of flight, enabling them to transport passengers over the falls. The method requires vast quantities of reeds, hence why we were unable to employ it during the Rite of Succession, but this might be the perfect occasion to revive the old ways. Quick jump between Earthenshire and downstream Cosmouka. Rock likes the sound of that. Still, when are they going to actually fix the stairs? Maybe it'll happen at the end of this whole thing. Of course, we'll need staff well-versed in Panuti care. which is why I've already reached out to some beast keepers. Part of me balks at the idea of spending all that pel. But my inner abacus assures me that this is yet another worthwhile investment. There isn't a moment to lose. It's time to make airborne pununity travel a reality once more. I'm glad our plans for expansion look set to succeed. For their cooperation, I'll see to it that our Moblin and Hanu partners get their fair share of the profits. But let's first ensure that there will be additional profits to share in the first place. We'll need a large effigy to channel our wind magics into the Punities, and for that we'll need plenty of reeds, not to mention reams of cloth stitched with ether-enriched flight feathers. But you can leave preparations for the latter to us Hanu. I have business in the capital, so I'll procure the Punities. Come to think of it, I'll have to commission Wook-Ivu to build an enclosure for them too, which leaves the reeds. I realize this is grunt work, Prince, but permit me to entrust the harvest to you. Speak with Gona Hanu in the Fields of Gold. He'll point you in the right direction. Anyhow, I'd best be off. Let's reconvene later. Alrighty. To the southeast. Well met. Zanu Hali said you'd require some reeds. The plants nearby are ready to harvest. Feel free to take as much as you need. After all, we have you and your friends to thank for the bumper crop. You know, these days we get plenty of visitors to the fields. Some even ask to help with the harvest. It's a joy to see, that's for sure. Anyway, it won't be long until the next Ihihana. I hope you can join us again. Sorry, I should let you get to work instead of talking your ear off. Once you have what you need, deliver the reeds to Lanu Hali in Kozanaki. Alright, here's the first one. Looks like we're grabbing 5 of these. That's the last one. Alright, we are headed now to the northeast, it looks like. Hello there. I hear you might have some reeds for me. A bundle of aether-rich reeds plucked straight from the paddy. I wasn't expecting such a haul. Thank you. Together with the reeds my fellow Hanu have collected, we should have enough to construct the effigy. The first step will be to dry the reeds with a little help from our wind magics. Once the effigy itself is complete, all that will be left to do is swaddle it in special cloth. You needn't worry about the details, though. We'll see to the rest. Return to the travel agency in case they have need of you there. Okay, back to Doc Poga. Ah, there you are. I just got back myself. The Beastkeepers are on their way with the Punities as we speak. Once the creatures are capable of flight, it'll be a quick hop to Earthenshire. I'm planning to offer bespoke tours for customers wishing to purchase Potsworn crafts straight from the source. Thankfully, Wookivu agreed to work on the enclosure. Once the effigy is finished, we'll just need to wait for Zanu Hali to arrive. Divine Wind, lay claim to the effigy. Grant these waterbound beasts the gift of flight. Thanks to the efforts of all involved, the Tuliyollal Travel Agency is now replete with its own Punity enclosure and wind effigy. With the aid of the flight-imbued aquatic creatures, visitors may now experience the upper reaches of Cosma Uka. Yet as the agency continues to broaden its horizons, it will need you to ensure that business keeps pace. Why does this look familiar? Wait, isn't this similar to what happened with, like, Emmett Selk and everybody else involved back in the past? Like, we just did this back in Endwalker, trying to teach something to fly. Okay, maybe these guys didn't have as much trouble learning how to fly, but anyway. Alright, our reputation has increased to respected, and new daily quests are available, along with wider access to a selection of wares. And the reputation grind begins again, so I will catch you next once I have this bar filled. Alrighty everyone, I have maxed my Pelu Pelu reputation once again, so it is time for us to speak to Liplu. What am I going to do? I can't seem to find anyone up to the task. Oh, Prince, you have the wonderful habit of appearing exactly when I need you. I've got a problem on my hands. Don't worry, the agency is doing just fine. The Earthenshire tours have been a runaway success, and if bookings stay steady, we'll soon recoup all the recent outlays. Well, that's actually the problem. The upper reaches of Cosmo Uka are proving too popular. We're struggling to meet demand with our current number of tour guides. I want to address the issue before the burden starts wearing the staff down. You aren't aware of anyone in need of work who knows the region like the back of their hand, are you? Yeah, I know they're probably gonna go for the bandit group, but let me try the moblins first here. That would be ideal, but the moblins have the potsworn to attend to. I'd be loath to ask any more of them. Do you have any other suggestions? Alright, then yeah, it's gotta be the bandit gang. You don't mean the bandits who kidnapped Dawn servant Wook Lamont during the Rite of Succession? I'm sure they know the area well, but... Ah, hold on. I do remember hearing about a group of miscreants who turned themselves into the Landsguard not long after the Ascension ceremony. Apparently they were later released on parole. I suppose if they're willing to atone for their crimes and genuinely wish to make a fresh start... My inner abacus is clacking away. It says we should speak with them, at the very least. Reduce the strain on our staff? Have former bandits give back to the communities they've wronged? Yes, yes, everyone stands to gain much from a potential arrangement. Would you be willing to help track down these bandits? I knew I could count on you. Let's head to Many Fires and see what we can glean from the locals. Alright, we are off to Many Fires. Has Bobby heard wind talk of bandits? I'm afraid not. These parts have been peaceful of late. Plenty of time to fish. Although I did eye-catch a scrawny fisher in the woods not far from Deceiver's Mantle. A Tonawatwa with crazy hair as bright as Jingly Shine. I wonder who he was. Ah, you seek news of the bandits let out on patrol? Sneaky takers, the lot of them. They spread many bad feels in the village with their crimes. Cheese was not for them. Apparently, they were eye-catched not long ago. Mobby dreads to think about the inevitable recidivism. I hope they've had time to reflect on the wrongness of dirty taking and are ready to make an honest living. My goodness, it's you! You came here with Dawn servant Kona, seeking information about the bandit that waylaid me. Is there anything I can help you with this time? Looking for those bandits. Ah, you wish to know what happened to Wakesa and his band of brigands after all that? Well, I gather they surrendered to the Landsguard. They even confessed the whereabouts of their stolen goods, that everything might be returned to their rightful owners. Sure enough, my merchandise made its way back to me. Apparently, some of their victims were so moved by the gesture that they petitioned the Landsguard for a more lenient sentence. Perhaps that's why Val Wuk-Lamat granted them parole. I don't know how they fared thence, but I've heard nothing to suggest they've been causing trouble. Anyhow, you'll have to excuse me. I must meet with a client in Urkopacha. I do hope we meet again someday. Alright, let us speak with Lip-Blue. Any news of our bandits? So they turned themselves in, returned the stolen goods, and are now living in the wilds after being pardoned. What's more, it seems they haven't fallen back into their old habits. Let's make for the woods to the south. That's where the angler spotted Wakesa, right? Hopefully we'll run into him there. Alright, we've arrived at the destination. We're being watched, aren't we? Starting to think I'm not cut out for fishing, and a man can't live off scrounging berries forever. What to do? Ah! You're that salted devil of a sellsword! Listen, I turned myself in, even gave back what I stole. Put that life behind me for good. What more could you possibly want from me? I came to personally ensure you got what you deserve. You came to get revenge for the kidnapping? Quite the opposite. We've come with a business proposal. My name's Lip-Blue, by the way. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'll get straight to the point. If you're serious about keeping to the straight and narrow, and making amends for your past crimes, perhaps you'd like to work with us at the Tuliyollal Travel Agency. Work for you? I see your scheme. Plotting to haul me off to the mines under the guise of employment, aren't you? Curse you, Blackhearts. I ate dirt to survive after I escaped. I won't set foot inside another mine while there's still breath in my lungs. Wait! Of course, he deserves a job. What more do you, what other way could you take that? That was unexpected, and all that talk of mines. He seemed genuinely traumatized. Prince, I want to find out what happened to him. Hopefully that way we can clear up this misunderstanding and have a proper discussion. I hate to ask, but could you find Wakesa and bring him back here? He was awfully fast, but I doubt he could outrun you. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be standing around somewhere, trying to catch his breath. Like maybe 200 meters away or so. I don't care how fast they are. They'll never find me here. What? How? Unbelievable. I ran full pelt and yet... Oh, what's the use? Listen, I know what we did was inexcusable, but after it came to a head, we made an oath. An oath to never walk that path again. I won't bother another soul. I'll live out my days on the fringes. Please, just leave me be. The fringes? Wait, so you want to come over to, near Alamigo? Just kidding. But that's what the area over there is called. There is a place called the Fringes. You're saying this is all a misunderstanding? Well, it's clear there's no escaping you regardless. Fine, I'll hear her out, and put my fate in your hands. Alright, back to the east we go. I apologize if we frightened you, Wakessa. That wasn't our intention. Are you willing to tell us why you fled? Before we get to that, I want you to be honest. Do you really have a proposition for me that doesn't involve dragging me back to those godforsaken mines? In that case, I'll be honest with you. Me and the rest of the gang first came here after fleeing Shaktaral. I'm sure I don't need to tell you, but Shaloni's been a hotbed of development since they found blue gold beneath the plains. Among the folk that got their hands on a drilling permit, there were more than a few looking to get rich quick. The kind of despicable bastards who didn't think twice about sending kids into the tunnels. And we worked for the worst of the worst. Day after day, toiling and wasting away, till we died or escaped. We eventually realized. So we smuggled ourselves out in empty cerulean barrels. You can imagine what happened next. That Vidral of a foreman tried to hunt us down, so we fled to Cosmauca and took to banditry, as much to conceal our identities as to make ends meet. Right or wrong be damned, we would survive. But when we heard that Dawn servant Wuklamat spoke of our plight during the Ascension ceremony, we decided to turn ourselves in. After a time, she showed us mercy and gave us a pardon. Even so, there's still fear of what might happen if the foreman or his lackeys were to find us. Thank you for sharing your story and telling me of the struggles you and your friends have experienced. Let me assure you that I do not wish to bind you with contracts or chains. I offer only the opportunity for you and your comrades to provide for yourself, to make an honest living on your own terms. So, how about it? How does working at the Tuliyollal travel agency sound? That's more than any of us dared hope for. But what if word gets back to the foreman? If someone showed up to haul us away, and we drag you into our affairs? I'll need to look into it to be sure, but I honestly don't think there's much chance of that happening. Thanks to the efforts of the Dawn Watch and the Daybreakers, Shaloni is no longer the lawless place it used to be. Besides, I've been working on a plan to help reintegrate former outlaws into society. I'll be sounding out the Wing of Reflection to see if they can't support the initiative. I'm sure the new Dawn servants will give their blessings. Incredible. But, it feels like we should be begging you for the opportunity. We've burned so many bridges. I'll make damn sure you don't regret this. That said, what exactly are we supposed to do for you? About all we're good for is manual labor and pathfinding. Though I do also know my way around a cook fire after feeding miners for all those years. This wasn't part of the plan, per se, but I think your culinary skills might come in handy. A restaurant on site could be a real earner. As for your comrades, we've been looking for individuals with an intimate knowledge of upstream Cosmo Uka, who are also capable of handling themselves. My plan was to employ them as guides turned protectors after a thorough assessment and proper training. I'd say it's about time we got back and continued preparations. Wakesa can meet us back at the agency in Dokpoga once he contacts his friends. Alright, so we're headed back to Dokpoga. Welcome back, Prince. I reached out to the Wing of Reflection, and it was just as I thought. It seems Wakesa's fears were unfounded. The situation in the cerulean fields has changed dramatically in the past few years. Groups like the Daybreakers have put an end to the practice of child labor, and the Dustwatch have all but stamped out the violent duels that used to be so common. As for the company you and your comrades worked for, they have long since been shut down by the Daybreakers. For its part, the Wing of Reflection is committed to the restoration and preservation of law and order in Shaloni. Any new unscrupulous drilling operations are swiftly dealt with. You needn't worry about anyone coming after you. Thank the heavens for that. In that case, we can commit to doing our part and repaying our debts. We've decided to set aside some of our earnings and repay Folk for all the hurt we caused, you see. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you on board. And here's the new restaurant. Thanks to the efforts of Liplu and her special advisor, Wakesa and his comrades have agreed to join the Turali Travel Agency. With this influx of new recruits, the shortage of staff that had threatened to curtail expansion into Earthenshire has been resolved. While his former crewmates begin their training as guides, Wakesa himself will be devising a menu of delicious local dishes as head chef of the agency's brand new eatery. Be sure to assist him and his crew of former brigands on their road to rehabilitation. And our reputation has increased to honored. We have new daily quests after taking the initial 3 for the day. We also have a wider selection of wares from Pavli. Alrighty, and so with that, we have yet another round of reputation to get, so I will bring you back in once that is ready. Another reputation bar filled, another quest to do. Let's talk to Liplu. Prince, good to see you. Have you heard? The new eatery is a roaring success. It seems Wakesa's time as a cook in Shaloni exposed him to all kinds of cuisines. The young fellow is both surprisingly skilled and commands an impressive repertoire. His comrades, too, have proven worthwhile additions, having taken well to guide work. Besides that, there's been an interesting development. You remember Sia, the Wing of Reflection representative, don't you? Our very first customer? Well, we were discussing my initiative to support former outlaws, and all of a sudden, he tells me there was something he wished to discuss in person. He's on his way to Doc Poga as we speak. I hope you can join me for the discussion. He ought to be here any moment now. Thank you for setting aside the time to meet with me. See ya. It's wonderful to see you again. You seem in fine fettle indeed. Likewise, it's heartening to see you and the business doing so well. The strides you've made since my first visit are remarkable. Your expansion into upstream Cosmouka with flying punities was quite the feat, and your decision to employ former bandits has done much for the wider community. A superb achievement. Know that my colleagues back in Tuliyollal are equally impressed. Last time I was here, I spoke of our position on tourism and foreign relations. It is with regards to this that the Wing of Reflection would seek your assistance. But of course! My inner abacus is clacking away, and it's urging me to do everything I can to support you. We'd love nothing more than to show foreign guests the delights of Tyrol has to offer. Although visitors from overseas are still few and far between, what exactly would you have us do? You are aware that Tuliyollal recently entered into an alliance with Razat Han. As it so happens, we received a visitor from the city-state. When we told her about the Tyroli travel agency, she expressed an interest in experiencing the region for herself. Would you be willing to provide one of your tours? It'd be our pleasure. Fortunately, we have a slot available. Excellent. The visitor's name is Rasafbat. She is an Aura, like our esteemed adventurer, and an alchemist by trade. I shall return to Tuliyollal and inform her of the plan at once. I'll procure an alpaca porter for her journey. If you could attend her when she arrives, I'd be much obliged. We'll be ready and waiting. Alright. To think the Wing of Reflection would entrust us with the nation's honored guest. What better way to promote Tyrol as a premier tourist destination? We wouldn't be in this position if it weren't for you and all our hard-working staff. Now then, we can't leave anything to chance. We'll need to be fully prepared for Rasavbat's arrival. I don't suppose you've visited Razadhan. I'd like to learn as much as I can about our guest's homeland. They enjoy spicy food. Of course, I needn't have asked. I'm not surprised in the least that our special advisor has traveled so far and wide. From what I've heard, the climate of Thavnair is similar to that of Cosmouka, so I presume our guests will not be overwhelmed by the heat and humidity. My primary concern is the local cuisine. Would you mind speaking to Wakesa and sharing your knowledge of Hanish fare with him? It may inspire him to prepare a suitable menu. Are they actually going to give us the option to go that spicy again? Hey there. Anything I can help you with? It's an honor to welcome a guest from across the salt. Putting together a menu to suit their tastes ought to make for a fun challenge. So, what might one find on the dinner table in Razadhan? Searingly spicy food, and lots of it. Food that packs a spicy punch, huh? In that case, the Moblin's flavorful cuisine might be better received than the more subdued Hanu fare. In any event, I'll whip up a meal that puts local flavors front and center, and work in a few flourishes to suit our guest. Let Liplu know I've got this covered. Welcome to Cosmouka. Rasafbat, I presume? It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Liplu, the founder of the Tyroli Travel Agency. I'll be your tour guide. Thank you for accommodating me at such short notice. I am Rasafbat, yes, and I represent the High Crucible of Alchemia, Razadhan's state-sponsored alchemical workshop. Oh, you're Prince, aren't you? What a coincidence. Forgive me, you must not remember. I'm one of the alchemists you met at the Great Work. My associates and I, examined your friend Destinian. Yes, that was an interesting scene where you all just kind of grabbed at him. Yep, that just like that. I see you already know each other. Well, I think it's a little more one-sided than each other suggests. The people of Razadhan, no, all of Thavnair and beyond, owe a debt of gratitude to Prince. The same goes for all of us here at the Tyroli Travel Agency. He's done so much to support our enterprise, not to mention the nation at large. Incredible. Fate certainly works in mysterious ways. I couldn't agree more. Seeing as how the two of you are already acquainted, perhaps you'd care to join us on the tour. She'll have her own personal protector. Wonderful. Allow me to escort you to your room, Rasabat. I'm sure you'll want to unpack your belongings. Would you mind waiting here? We'll be back in no time. I can't wait to see what Cosma Uka has to offer. This is going to be marvelous. And like they said, we are waiting. You gotta break up the scene somehow, I guess. Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's get going, shall we? Just a nice little tour all around. And let's see how they like the food. Oh, even spending time with the mobbies. I guess that does make sense. That was one of the arrangements we set up. Is it that time again? Although there's no rider in there. I'm so relieved everything went off without a hitch. And who'd have thought we'd get to watch the Hanu rehearsing for the next Ihihana? Ah, it was rehearsal, okay. I can only hope Rasafbat enjoyed her experience as much as I believe she did. I want to thank you all for everything you've done. This was a true delight. The climate may be similar to that of Thavnair, but the native flora has been a sight to behold. Speaking as an alchemist, there were so many intriguing specimens, such potential. And the people and all their culture. It was fascinating to learn how the Hanu Hanu use reef-woven floats to channel their magics during rites and rituals. Oh, and the Panuites were simply adorable. This will all make for a very engaging account when I report back to Vritra. Our two nations may have forged an alliance, but the ink has barely begun to dry on the parchment. Indeed, it was thanks to the efforts of the Scions that an agreement was reached at all. It would be presumptuous to claim that Tuliyollal and Razathan truly understand one another yet. Which is why the satrap sent me, to explore the potential for other mutually beneficial arrangements, and to confirm the friendship between our nations will stand the test of time. The Hanu and their unique magical traditions, the plant specimens you spoke of, you think this knowledge would benefit Razathan? If we're able to maintain relations and encourage the flow of people between our two nations, Razathan stands to gain a great deal. Of that, I'm certain. Besides, there's so much more I wish to learn about this land. I plan on spending the rest of my time here doing just that. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. When you return to Razathan, I hope you let everyone know what a great place Cosmauca is to visit, or better yet, the whole of Tyrol. I definitely will. Well, I suppose we should head back to the agency. Alright, one quick trip to the southeast. Outside here, okay. Rasavbat is resting in her quarters. I must say, I'm relieved the tour ended without incident. Thank you for everything you've done. For our visiting alchemist, I dare say Cosmauca's vegetation seemed like a veritable cornucopia. Any discoveries made via the Alliance will benefit Tuliyollal as much as Razathan. Indeed, this type of exchange is precisely what the Wing of Reflection had hoped for. I shall make my proposal to Dawn's servant, Kona, as soon as I return to the capital. There's no doubt in my mind. The tourism industry deserves our official backing. And once we may offer it, we shall have a commemorative monument erected to make this clear to one and all. Your support means a great deal, but I can't understand the role can't understate the role Prince and the people of Cosmauca had to play in our success. Their happiness is just as important to me. The Pel we earn must serve to enrich the community, which is why I can't rest on my laurels for even a moment. Thanks to the travails of Liplu and her associates, the Tuliyollal travel agency is on the cusp of receiving official backing from the Wing of Reflection. The future is bright for Tuliyollal's incipient tourism industry, with the Pelu principle of mutually beneficial trade underpinning the endeavor. Where tourists tread, happiness is soon to follow. Reputation has increased to sworn. Alright, new access to a wider selection of wares. And we've earned the achievement Extra Special Advisor. And we have one more rank of reputation to earn, so I will bring you back in once that has filled up. And indeed, we are back now. So, yeah, it was a long journey to get all these reputation bars filled up, but, you know, this is typically how this sort of thing goes. It takes multiple weeks to go through all the reputation bars, but it's time to check out what this last quest from Liplu is. Prince, thanks to you, the Tuliyollal Travel Agency goes from strength to strength. The Wing of Reflection's backing has been a real boon, and we're seeing more traffic than ever. And it so happens we're due a visit from another special guest today. As you have many times before, will you join me in welcoming them? Thank you. Let's go and wait by the Wing of Reflection's monument outside. Ah, that's the monument they built. I appreciate how generous you are with your time. I really do. Our guest should be here any moment now. Liplu, Prince, it's been a while. So good to see you, Mablu. Welcome to the Tuliyollal Travel Agency's Cosmouka branch. That's right, today's guest is none other than my dear friend Mablu. I'm sure you noticed, but she's had a hand in practically every aspect of the enterprise. From procuring supplies to facilitating critical communications and relaying news from trade posts all across Tuliyollal, she's been a huge help. And let's not forget that it was Mablu who introduced me to you. The Tuliyollal Travel Agency wouldn't be the institution it is today without your tireless efforts. You both have my eternal gratitude. I'm just as grateful. After all, I have gained my fair share of Pel as well. Still, I can't hold a candle to you, Liplu. Forging ties with the community and securing the endorsement of the Wing of Reflection. As a fellow entrepreneur in pursuit of our shared goal, I shall have to redouble my efforts. I never told you this, but after Mablu first committed to becoming a peddler, she came to the alpaca wool bedding emporium I was operating at the time, and put to me a business proposal. Due to recent events, Tuliyollal has known much hardship, both great and small, and she wondered if perhaps we, through our mercantile pursuits, might do something to hasten the nation's recovery. From the terrible storm that destroyed bridges and rendered the flight of we wingless impassable, to the sudden death of Gululjaja, we've had much cause to grieve, but it is our way to spread happiness through trade, and I had to believe we could still make a difference as only we Pelu could. When you and your comrades returned in triumph, there were festivities during which I spoke with many Tuliyollal. I sensed the people's growing desire to learn about their neighbors and share their own culture in turn. That's why I told Liplu I saw an opportunity ripe for the taking. And so I decided to establish the Tuliyollal Travel Agency. Bablu would keep in touch as she peddled her wares on the road, supporting us with her observations and insights. We were business partners in a Tuliyollal revitalization initiative, so to speak. The more we expanded our operations, the more people and communities to which we could bring visitors and their Pel. With everyone's help, we've enriched many lives, but this is only the beginning. Through trade, we'll continue to bring Tuliyollal together and give them ample cause to smile. After all, that's what we Pelu do, now and always. You're right about that. I can hear my inner abacus clacking away. It's proud we can hold true to our traditions, and just as convinced as I am that all our dreams will come true. I hope you both keep the Tuliyollal Travel Agency in mind, wherever you might be. Do be sure to send plenty of customers our way. Alright, and we are going to chat with Liplu one last time here. Where would I be without you, Prince? You've contributed so much to the agency and aided us in assembling an amazing group of collaborators. The Hanu are a joy to work with, and the Moblins are thrilled to have found an all-new audience for their crafts. Not to mention the Alpaca Porters and Punity hands pleased with all the extra Pel in their pockets. But as I keep saying, we wouldn't have been able to forge these ties in the first place if it weren't for your help. I'm sure you're tired of me singing your praises, but I really do owe it all to you. Thanks for sticking with me as I've taken these first real steps towards my dream. I wonder where the next step will lead me. Homeward to Urkapacha? Or perhaps I should set my sights on Shaktaral. Who knows, one day the Tuliyollal Travel Agencies may even have an Alexandrian branch. After all, a path only extends as far as you're willing to walk, and my legs have plenty of life left in them. Alright, our reputation has reached Bloodsworn. And we will receive extra experience points upon completion of Pelu Pelu Society Daily Quest. Not that it matters to me, since all my classes and jobs are level 100 at this point. And we have access to a wider selection of wares from Pavli. And indeed, that is it. Bloodsworn 0 out of 0. So, for the uninitiated, usually at the end of an expansion, all the different groups that you help out in these allied societies will come together for one final quest line. And so that is something that I'll be working towards through the rest of this expansion. That said, let's see what we have access to now. So we're able to pick up the headwear that they wear on their heads. There's the Pelu Pack, Pelu Pelu Framers Kit, Wind Up Pelu Pelu, Annuity Horn, as well as a orchestrion roll. And there's also all the different material that you're able to get. That's for this expansion. Alright, so with all that, there is one last thing we're going to be taking a look at here today, and that is going to lead us back to Tuliyollal now. Let us head over there. So, some of you may remember, way at the start of the expansion, there was a crafting and gathering quest line that we took on here in Wachu Meki Meki. And it is time to check out the end of that sequence now. Let us go ahead and swap over to a crafter so we can take a look at this. Well, if it isn't Prince, come to sample the fruits of your labor. These shops have gone from failing to flourishing. And with business booming, a delightful little idea has been simmering in the back of my mind. A plan I'd always hoped to put into motion, and now I believe I can. Now that I think on it, your help would go a long way to ensuring its success. Might you be willing to hear the particulars? But the middle of a clamorous market is no place for such conversation. Would you wait for me at the Gornitruk Gleam Sands? That is down this way. Oh, it's all the way down there. Alright, we'll be able to pick up an Aethernet shard here to get us a little bit closer. My apologies for the wait. Time is Pel, as they say. Let's not waste a moment more. As you know, our country has endured much in recent times. The right of succession had scarcely concluded when that dome appeared in Yasalani. Then came the invasion, and the former Dawn servant was slain. Even so, I cannot help but feel this strife has only strengthened the bonds between the peoples of Tyrol. Why, even the Yakui have seen fit to come down from the mountains to visit. More heartening still, the Tuliyollal citizens, previously thought lost to the dome, have been returning home in greater and greater numbers. I can only assume we owe it to the government's efforts to repair the railroad. Well, I've been having a hand in that too. All of that being said, I think what we need now is a good sale, don't you? Yes, a sale of prodigious proportions to celebrate our nation's melting pot of myriad cultures. After all, what is Tuliyollal if not a house of countless beads itself? We'll call it the Wachu Meki Meki Appreciation Sale, and invite vendors from across the continent to take part. Doesn't that sound splendid? As it happens, a merchant by the name of Mablu has been traveling around Tyrol on my behalf, speaking to anyone and everyone who might be interested. Yeah, I just spoke with them like a few minutes ago here. Everyone save those still living in the dome, but Wait, what? Everyone save those still living in the dome, but I feel it would be remiss of me not to extend them an invitation. Our relationship with them is a complicated one, to be sure, but Tuliyollal is no less their home than ours. Their presence here would afford us all a chance to extend a hand in friendship. Yet I am woefully uneducated about their culture, and truthfully, making arrangements for this event has demanded the sole focus of my attention. Which is why I'd like to enlist the aid of someone intimately familiar with their present circumstances. Someone like you, provided it's not too much trouble, of course. Right, of course. Thank you, Prince. You might be the most dependable artisan I have ever had the pleasure of knowing. But Wachumeki Meki has no shortage of candidates vying for that title. In fact, these fine folks have volunteered to assist with all facets of the event preparations. Ropley's enlisted your help as well, has he? Then we've a veritable army's worth of support behind us. Ropley has assigned me to the Yasulani expedition. I'm glad to be traveling with you, friend. And me. Got my Shaktaral permit, and I'm raring to go. While you three are off handling that, the rest of us will put together some eye-catching advertisements for the big event, with quantity and quality in equal measure, of course. I am pleased to say that Zimawini has volunteered to assist in the preparations, though I suspect his motivations lie entirely in the prospect of hearing tales from the Dome. In any case, I pray for a sizable turnout. Well then, Expedition Team. Your destination is a settlement found on the outskirts within the Dome. Prince, can I count on you to lead the way? Wonderful. Travel safely and report back once they've settled in. As for the rest of us, let's get to work. Remember, no one is to overexert themselves, for we'll need as many hands as we can get to help customers once the sale is underway. Perhaps we should also get the Tuliyollal Travel Agency involved in all this. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, the quest lines don't really connect that well. Outskirts, here we come. When I said I might soon embark on a journey, I must confess this is not what I had in mind. Nevertheless, I'm ready when you are, Prince. With the train running again, I doubt our trip will be especially eventful, but Uvlo insisted on tagging along as a bodyguard. Our little cadre is quickly becoming a merry band, it seems. And the more the merrier. Seeing as Pashin's in town for a visit, I invited him along too. Now, what say we mosey on out? Let us travel to the outskirts. I admit it's nerve-wracking to be so far from home, but Uvlo has proven reliable in combat, as have my magics, of course. I'm a hunter first and foremost, which isn't to say I don't have experience as a guard. Still, it was a relief to have you with us. I knew Yasulani had changed, but this is... How have the Shitona managed to survive out here all this time? The desert had my feathers fluffing up something fierce, and now this lightning's got my wings all tingly. The sooner we finish our work here, the better. Now, how do you reckon we go about asking these folk to join our event. Seeing how different life here must be, I worry we might not see eye to eye. Actually, I was going to suggest a trip into Solution 9, but... same as we'd ask any good neighbor. Nothing else for it, eh? Let's split up and start inquiring. But just know we'll be counting on you to fish us out of trouble if it comes to it. Well, Donahanu is up there. Perfect timing, Prince. I was just asking this fine lad if he'd like to come to see Tuliyollal, but sorry, but I'm not sure I want to travel outside the barrier. Granted, I was born and raised in Yasselani, but I was a child then. I scarcely remember it. As far as I'm concerned, this is my home now. Wait a moment. Aren't you the visitor who was asking about fish native to Heritage Found? What was that about, if I may? This formidable fisherman came here at my request and caught a Fulminstergen that I might master my tribe's magical arts. And he managed to hook one? That's no small feat. Fellow aficionado, are we? Tell you what, make the trip to Tuliyollal, and you're welcome to browse my collection of fresh, fantastic specimens at Fish Fancy's Donahanu. Now that's an offer I would be hard-pressed to refuse. Oh, why not? Perhaps I'll invite my family along too. Thank you. But before I let you go, I'd love to hear a bit more about the local swimmers. They've certainly become fast friends, haven't they? I suppose I should have expected to find fish enthusiasts in every far-flung corner of the realm. If nothing else, everything appears to be going quite swimmingly now. Leave it to us, and we'll see to it that he and his family make it safely to Tuliyollal. Alright, and over to the other side of town. And since it is an appreciation sale for all the peoples of Tyrol, naturally the citizens of Alexandria would be most welcome to take part. That sounds like a marvelous idea. I'm something of a traveling merchant myself, you know. From local farm produce to electro ore, I aid in the distribution of all manner of supplies. Perhaps someone among my network of contacts could help me put together a storefront for your event. So the Chitono way of life within the dome is no different than without, centered on the blessings of the land. Blessings of the land. You sound like my mother. Perhaps our way of living is the same, or perhaps not. I've never even seen the old Yasselani, so it's hard to know for sure. Say, before we worry ourselves with this appreciation sale, why don't the two of us get properly acquainted? I'm sure there's much you could teach me. Teach? You misunderstand. I am no expert on the Chitona. I'm merely a visiting Viera from Othard. What does that have to do with anything? I suppose it doesn't. Well, Uvlo is undeniably great fun to tease. I must ask that you press no further. We need all the able hands we can get to prepare for the sale, and I'm not leaving without him. Fine, fine. In lieu of an apology, I'll be sure to inquire with all relevant parties. I hope we'll meet again at the sale. The expedition team appears to have matters well in hand. Now would be an opportune time to return to Tuliyollal and inform Rupley of their success. Seriously though, check out Solution 9 before you come home. You'll be surprised at the kind of shopping they have at the arcade Nexus, or the Nexus arcade rather. Alright, let us check in with Rupley. I see you've returned from the dome. The expedition team is finding success, I hope? Doing okay so far? Excellent. You have my thanks for overseeing their efforts. While you're at it, would you do me a favor and check out the rest of our dear shopkeepers? In particular, I'd like to know how Pamika and Simone are faring. And I think they would be heartened to see you. You'll find them processing entrance at the Arch of the Dawn. So, all the way on the west side of town there. I'm gonna make a turn to the northwest here and hit up the Aethernet shard up here. Although even that's not that close. To reserve a stall for the event, you must first submit the proper paperwork. But if you'd like, I can help you fill it out. You need only tell me what to write. By all means, spare me the hassle. But first, are alpacas allowed in the market? Peddlers like myself wouldn't have any business at all, were it not for our fuzzy four-legged friends. I see. Let's write in a request under special accommodations, then. So long as you keep the stall clean, I don't foresee any issues. Thank you kindly. She's very well behaved, I assure you. By the way, what's this I hear about an establishment serving juice blends? Most days I get on by mate, but I'd love to stop by and have a cup if I find the time. We're currently compiling a catalog of all the storefronts that will be open for business during the sale. I'm sure you'll find plenty that suit your fancy. I deal primarily in stone sculptures, as well as the tools traditionally used to carve them, all created in miniature, of course, to fit Tuliyollal hands. Wonderful. Everything seems to be in order. Allow me to fill out a vendor application on your behalf. If you should have further need of my pen to prepare signboards or price tags, I'd be happy to assist you. That would be most helpful. The script used here holds no meaning to a Yakui like myself. The sale is shaping up to be a most wondrous event. Would you not agree? A beautiful tapestry of different cultures, threaded together by the spoken word. Which reminds me, I'd love to hear more about your culture. Surely you have a little time between tasks. Zimolny, you scoundrel, is this why you volunteered to help? Hello! You needn't worry about us, Prince. We're tasked with welcoming all the visiting merchants, and it's been a steady stream thus far. Really, if anyone's struggling at the moment, I fear it might be Shirolja. She agreed to handle event promotions so we could focus on assisting visitors. You should be able to find her at Bright Plume Post. I might be wrong, but I think I almost timed that hello perfectly there. Oh wait, they're all the way over there? Hang on. Okay, Aethernet shard, please. I know how hard you folks work every day to keep Tuliyollal safe, and I have just the thing to put a spring back in your step. This event is about giving heart thanks for sweat work of the whole community, and that includes lands guarding. Tell all your fighty friends to come and try Juice Mix at the Wachumeki Meki Appreciation Sale. Sorry, Prince. I didn't mean to ignore you. I just couldn't risk losing my momentum. We're handing out free samples, you see, to help promote the sale. Halnaruk's been a great help thus far. Almost no grumbling, if you can believe it. I'm a little nervous for our Alexandrian guests to sample our wares, though. What if they hate all our drinks? You've spent some time inside the dome, haven't you, Prince? What can you tell me about the Alexandrian palate? They have energizing drinks in vibrant colors. That also give colors to you as well. You know, that sounds a lot like Bunawa soda. Maybe they will like my drinks after all. Shirolja will never be a master juice keep while spouting the doubt feels of an amateur. I beg your pardon? I was merely trying to be considerate of our customers' preferences. Is Prince ear catching these addle flaps? If it wasn't for professional stuff seeker Halnaruk, Shirolja would give herself belly pains from so much overthink. Ignore our squabbling, Prince. You've given me the confidence I need to offer my refreshments to everyone who visits Wachumeki Meki, no matter where they come from. More importantly, I do believe Raul Saj and her assistant are building us some rather unique promotional decorations at her workshop. You should go and see for yourself, if you haven't already. Back to the south, then. Ah, Prince, welcome back. I take it things are going well out in the dome? Glad to hear it. While you've been gone, me and Papani have been rigging up these old decorations for the appreciation sale. I designed them to resemble dirigibles, like those stationed at the landing to the west. To me, they are a symbol of Tuliyollal, connecting all our disparate communities in a fashion not unlike the chain of a necklace. Progress has been steady, too, owing to Pamika's generous provisions of cloth and paper. Now, all that's left is to decorate Wachumeki Meki with our finished pieces. But, well, now that you're here, might you be willing to place them for us? I'd like to use the time we have left to keep building. If that's alright, I think a few more would really set the mood. We really want this sale to be a success, Prince. Once you've finished, let Rupley know we're nearly done, yeah? Leave it to me. Alright, let's get these decorations set up. And I'll also say they also maybe kind of also resemble the Ekatal 9 Exali Allied Society as well, a little bit. I remember that sequence where they were also trying to build dirigibles, and we kind of had to help them craft them all together. Alright, let's go speak with Rupley. I will say they need to be flying, but... Tell me, Prince, how is everyone doing? Okay, as far as I can tell. It seems they're as passionate about this sale as I am. I appreciate you checking in on them. Likewise, my preparations are proceeding apace. All that remains now is to ensure that our visitors are permitted entry into Tuliyollal. Speaking of which, I received word from Shunye that he and the others will be here soon, accompanied by all those who wish to peddle their wares at the sale. Why, I can see the balloons from here. There's nothing like adding a touch of flair to a busy market, don't you think? If everything keeps to schedule, it won't be long before the Wachumeki Meki Appreciation Sale is ready to begin. Stay and watch a while, won't you? Let's observe the sale. How about a Bunawa soda? The herbs and spices will perk you right up. Best of all, first-timers can sip the crisp, cold fizzy pops free of charge. Oh, please tell me this whole sequence doesn't play automatically. A letter to a relative here in town? Certainly, and you're in luck. We're offering a special discount today. While we're at it, we should tell them of your new home. Any recent developments to share? How about a sturdy set of metal tools? We'll have them ready before you leave. And we'll craft them to fit your hands, of course. Quality guaranteed. Now tell me, ladies, which of these fancy catches do you fancy the most? Is that Ma Blue I see there? I believe that's Ma Blue. If you're interested, I can teach you how to cook them. Rest assured, I have no intention of closing shop either way, especially now that I have a reliable supplier. Did I not hear her invite you to browse her wares? Have you no interest? Of course I do. She said she's brought a variety of traditional Alexandrian handicrafts and other national exports, but I'm on duty at the moment. There's that Alexandrian food there. Oh, Prince, the Watchu Meki Meki Appreciation Sale is a tremendous success. It warms my heart to see so many happy faces, and on both sides of the bartering table. Commerce is a delicate balance between supply and demand, between customers who labor for coin to spend, be it Pel or Gil, and merchants who labor to receive it, only to spend it elsewhere in turn. In that way, we are Watchu Meki Meki. All of us beads on the chain of commerce. Now, what are you waiting for? This is a golden sales opportunity. Get out there and browse to your heart's content. Alright. Truly, it's a joy to know that so many have enjoyed the sale. And to think, were it not for the support of a skilled artisan like yourself, our fair shops might still be struggling to this day. Yes, I dare say this event was a gesture of appreciation for you as well, Prince. I hope we can always count on your patronage here in Watchu Meki Meki. And for our trouble, we're getting a tabletop decoration. Achievement unlocked, trade in true for 10 points. I think I want to place that on the table right now. Let's see if I got any room. I think right here will be good. Let's see how big this thing is. Actually, it might do better right about here, across from the airship. And there it is. Looking nice. Alright. And so with that basically wraps up almost all the loose threads that I had still ongoing. There's a couple that are still left, particularly the one with the Malmuja Gathering Allied Society. And then there's a bunch of just little side quests that are not, that weren't story, not main scenario quests related, but they are a little heavier than just your typical quest in terms of just a bit of story attached to them. At some point, we'll probably get to those. But that's pretty much it at this point here. There's still the stuff going on the moon, which, if with the next patch, we're going to be going to a new planet, which is going to be fun for even more fun with the gathering and crafting classes. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, along with everything else that's coming out in 7.3. It's definitely going to be a fun one, because that's basically the patch where they typically end the happenings of what's happening currently in the MSQ, and it's in the 0.4 and 0.5 where they start to set up for the next expansion. So I'm definitely looking forward to whenever that comes out. I think that's supposed to come out in like another 8 or 9 weeks at this point. So we're probably also going to have the next Mog Tome event happening. But that's I don't know if I'm going to do a stream or not for that. Especially since we're basically at the end of the episode here, but basically at this point now, there's nothing holding me back. Next week, the plan is we're going to be starting Xenoblade Chronicles next week. So look forward to that. After going through Xenogears, I don't want to wait anymore. I want to get to Xenoblade. I will say up front, I do have a little bit of experience of that game from back on the Wii, but the furthest I ever got was like to the second outdoor area when I originally played it, and then from there I got completely distracted by PSO2's release. So that at least kind of gives you a sense of how far I got. I'm fairly certain I did not get very far in that game at all. But yeah, next week, Xenoblade Chronicles, and then we'll figure it out from there. Eventually, we'll have to come back to 14 to cover 7.3's MSQ and other things, but for the time being, that does it for me with Final Fantasy XIV. So, with all that said, thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time. And to those of you that were watching live, my apologies for the technical issues tonight. I will be doing a re-upload of that sequence for the Pelu Pelu, and make that a video as soon as I can. Have a good one, everyone!